Hey my friends, some of you have asked about the templates that I've used in some of my builds, particularly of course the sword builds. And here's a SketchUp file where I just sort of play with ideas and do different ideations on what I might build. It's really easy to explore these ideas in SketchUp, so I thought I'd do a quick video on how you might try that. And I'm just drawing a single line for the length of the blade, and then another line for the basic tang, and another line to represent the handle, and then selecting these three edges, right click and make them a component. And then I'll move and copy that component and mirror it using the scale tool. Now this isn't a full SketchUp tutorial, so this probably was going pretty quickly if you've never used SketchUp. And hopefully you can get an idea of how this works. Having made that a component, I can edit either of these groups of edges, and those changes will be duplicated to the other component as well. So I'm going to start by creating just a really basic form, and then I'll use that as the basis to start playing with ideas. So I created an edge or a guideline 1 inch away, so I have a 2-inch sword. The base of the sword is 2 inches, and then I could taper that in if I want, or maybe we'll break this edge and then taper in just the point. Again, I'm not trying to get too detailed here, so a simple arc to create the point, and there's the blade. Again, that was 38 inches, which is sort of a good sort of starting point. The tang again was 3 inches, so it's 6 inches overall, and then the handle, a decent starting point is say 1 inch wide, and so I created a guideline at 1/2 inch, and then so that handle is 1 inch wide. And then I'll create the pommel. Now remember, this is a mirrored, so I need to break that circle in half and erase the other half because it's already duplicated. So there is a really basic template, and now I can simply take this, select both of my components, make a copy of them, and then this is really important, you've got to make them unique. If you don't, any changes you make will of course go across all of those same components. So you want to make this unique so that you can start to explore some different ideas on this version. So now that it's unique, it's doing its own thing, and we can just start to play with ideas. And this is where it really gets fun, because there's no consequence, right? You just start having fun. You say, what if I break it here, or maybe add something, a little detail here, and maybe we'll copy that, right? So sort of exploring the ideas. And these are just basic SketchUp tools: line tool, arc tool. Okay, so that was one iteration. Make a copy, make it unique, and let's make this one a longer version. So grab that point out there, extend it out by a couple inches, make the handle a little bit longer, tang's a little wider and curved. That's the idea. And this one, we'll make it a shorter version since we just made a longer version. And I have sped things up a little bit here. I wish I was this fast. I'm not this fast. But again, it's just this idea of playing around, and super easy to do so. If you are new to SketchUp, a very important concept is drawing. Here we're not pulling anything into 3D necessarily, we're just drawing on a flat plane. And so you always want to draw on a flat plane, and arcs especially can get skewed off in a different direction. So you want to make sure that those are drawn in line with all of your other surfaces. So there we go, a few iterations. It's quick, it's easy to do, and then you can start adding more detail if you want. Here we're adding a little bit of a fuller, just to see how it looks. And if you really wanted to take this out and build it then just throw some dimensions on here to help you know how big this is. And of course you can print these off. Now for this final one, let's do something different. Let's create a sort of like really fantastical version. Less practical, but more in the fantasy realm. So some spikies going on and more curves. Now what's funny is looking back at this, what you'll see as soon as we zoom out here is that I forgot to make this this copy unique, right? So I'm making these changes, things are looking fine, being careful where my arcs are. And you can see right here, you can see that I haven't made it unique, and I didn't even notice. I was so just sort of focused exactly right there. But I deleted the blade, and then I'm going to create a different group, and we'll make this one a sort of curved blade. So that's where the symmetry wouldn't be useful. And you can see there an example of where I wasn't careful in drawing my arc. But if we complete that shape, that's not very interesting, but if we add a few more curves, it starts to become, I think, a little more so. It's tilted back a little far for my taste, so let's tweak that a little bit. And that starts to look kind of a more interesting, or wicked sort of blade. So everything doesn't have to be purely symmetrical. Now I realized that I had made a mistake and lost the previous edits, and that doesn't mean you actually lost them. There's a way to get them back. And you can do that by copying the changes you have made. So I'm going to copy this new sword. You can copy or cut it. And then go through your undo stack. So I just start hitting Command Z, which is on the Mac, or Control Z on the PC. And I'm going to undo back before to where I had made the copy. So I'm just tapping it. And now I'm back to the original. I haven't lost any changes, but because I copied that, it's still in the memory of the computer. And so I can paste it, and it pastes it, and it creates unique components by default, recognizing that there's others with that same name. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that isn't too fast to be useful, but let me know if you have any interest in seeing more videos like this, and thanks for watching.